Hello, Rebels. Garrett Robinson here, independent author of the Realm Keeper series, the upcoming novel Rebel Yell, the Touch Trilogy, Non-Zombie 1 and 2, Hit Girls, The Ninja Bread Man, and currently the fantasy serial Nightblade. Oh, it's the wrong one on the screen. Big difference there, isn't it? This is my show VlogaNovel, where I live create books for you guys to watch and enjoy. Everything from the outlining process, writing the first draft, editing, and the cover design, formatting, and publishing the book online. All of it takes place on live streaming video for you guys to watch. If you are a writer yourself, you get to see the process, which is hopefully helpful. And if you are a reader and you happen to enjoy the series, you get all kinds of awesome, cool behind-the-scenes stuff that nobody else gets unless they watch the show. Until I publish a compendium novel many years from now when the series has ended and I'm doing a desperate cash grab for more ways to earn money off of a big franchise. Because that is the inevitable end of any big, fantasy franchise or series or anything like that. It's when you start publishing books of maps and behind-the-scenes content and everything. It's only because you didn't vlog a novel first, so people don't have a way to go watch it all happen live on streaming video. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. Nobody would argue that point. Anyway. This is the outlining episode for episode 3. Episode 3 releases this Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time. Oh boy, I know it's 3 days away, but I feel like I'm very behind on this. No, it's going to be fine. We're going to finish the outlining process today. I'm going to be able to do one episode of this, then I have to go do a film shoot, and then I'm going to come back and finish the outlining. Maybe get into the first draft by the end of the night. That would be pretty fantastic, because I need to finish the first draft tomorrow, edit it on Thursday, and hit publish Thursday night before I go to bed so that it's ready for y'all on Friday, noon Pacific Standard Time. Couple things to know. You can pre-order this book, which I would, be very happy if you did that. Clearly. The link in the blue section of the screen below my face down there, garrettbrobinson.com/nb-3 is the link to go pre-order. That is a pre-order direct from me. So while you still only pay 99 cents for it, I get twice as much money from your purchase as if you buy it on Amazon, which is why I do the pre-orders, and you get a Mobi file and an EPUB file. Mobi is for Kindle. EPUB is for literally everything else, Kobo, iBooks, Nook, everything, except for Kindle reads an EPUB file. So you can read it on whatever device you want. I certainly hope you'll do that. However, if this is your first experience with Nightblade and you are not familiar with the series already, you're going to want to click the bottom link in the blue section of the screen, which is the first episode. That's garrettbrobinson.com/nb-1. That episode is free everywhere. It's free on Kindle. It's free on Nook. It's free on Kobo. It's free on iBooks. It's free on Smashwords. You can get it literally anywhere. And so that if you are not sure if you're going to like this series or not, you can find out without having to pay any money. I like that as a reader, so I decided to do that as an author. I'm trying to do that for all my series, but other than this series and Realm Keepers, Amazon doesn't want to make my other series, the first books, free, which is weird. I mean, all the series that I do that on end up being my best-selling series. So you'd think Amazon would want to help me out, but no, they do not. All right, enough dilly-dallying and chit-chat and blah, blah, blah. You're probably tired of it. Let's get into outlining. So we're outlining episode 3. I'm already pretty happy with the outline of episode 3 as it exists. So now we're just going to scan through the rest of the series, the rest of this season rather, which is the first 8 episodes, and we're going to make sure that the storylines from that, we're still happy with all of that. Okay, so we go on to episode 4. So episode 4 is what episode 3 used to be. So she arrives at the city of Cabris, which is where she's been heading for the first 3 episodes. She barely remembers it. As they go, the shorter constable sees her dagger. Okay, so this is a cool moment in episode 4. Basically, one of the constables who captured her sees her dagger, which is the dagger that she stole from her parents in episode 1. not really knowing anything about it, just knowing that it's pretty. And and as soon as he sees it, he lets her go. Well, not as soon as he waits for an opening and then he lets her go and says, basically, you know, tell them that I helped you, or tell your masters that I helped you, or whatever. And she's like, I don't know what you're. I mean, okay, yeah, sure, absolutely. And she runs for her life. Um, she meets the pickpocket Jem. Jem takes her to Auntie. Auntie lets her prove herself, except it's a trick. Tries to turn her over to the constables. Lauren escapes with Jem's help. Loses her bow in the fight. Then she sees Zane riding a carriage and pulls Jem in with her. Okay, awesome. So now we've got Lauren and Jem together at the end of episode 4, which is good. Jem is going to be a constant companion for, I mean, basically the whole series. Um, so they're together. She's reunited with Zane. Excuse me. Now, before I want to bring Annis back into this because I like her as a character. We've spent quite some time developing her, and she's escaped from her mother. And if she doesn't get out of Cabra soon, it's going to be impossible for her to do so. So let's see. Maybe episode 5. Maybe in episode 5. Episode 5 can be about Lauren convincing Zane to help them break Annis out of wherever she's being held. I mean, basically, where would they take Annis after she's captured? Well, you know what we can do? We can go back through our character sheets and write in what happened to everybody during episode 2. That was something that we did. That was something that we did after episode 1. It was very good for establishing what had happened to everybody. So let's see. Okay. So Lauren travels south in episode 2. Lauren travels south on the road without Zane. The constables catch up to her on horseback, and she almost evades them, but they spot her when she's attacked by a bear. They chase her over a ridge to another road where she hides in Damaris's caravan. The constables ride off in search of her, but shortly after, Lauren is discovered by Damaris. Annis befriends her, but Damaris and her captain Gregor make Lauren feel very nervous. Lauren tells Annis about Men at the Mist, who she idolizes. Damaris gives Lauren a horse riding lesson. Annis then offers Lauren a stolen purse of coins, which Lauren refuses. That's when a new constable and several riders show up. Damaris hides Lauren in the caravan again, but within the wagon, Lauren hears Damaris offer her up to the constable. All right, so that's Lauren's episode 2. Pretty nicely. We haven't hit Jem yet, so we'll move on to Zane. What happened to Zane in episode 2? How long was episode 2 anyway? So she climbed. Da, 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 da. Okay, so episode 2 starts. Let's just take episode 2 from. So episode 1 happens day 1. Ep 2, writing all this down on a card. Sorry, I don't know any easy way to do it on my computer screen. Episode 2 is day 2, is when she wakes up. Zane is gone. She spends a day traveling. She goes to sleep, and she wakes up on day 3. She runs. She reaches the caravan. She hides in the caravan. Annis finds her. She travels with the caravan. Caravan leaves. That night, she tells Annis the story about Men at the Mist. And then the next morning is day. Whoops, that's not episode 3. Next morning is day 4. So day 4 is. Day 4 is the horseback ride. That's when Annis offers up the coin purse, and the constables show up. Okay, so episode 1 took place in a single day. Episode 2 took place over the course of 3 days. And episode 3 begins on day 4. So what happened with Zane during the course of episode 2? And then on the evening of day 2, Okay, so in Zane in episode 2 traveled south on the day that Lauren awoke. During the afternoon, he cuts east and reaches the alternate road south. He did that to avoid Lauren and the constables, but ironically, he ended up picking the same road that Lauren wound up on by chance. So he finds Damaris's caravan in the evening. We already established that happened in episode 2, and buys a horse, then heads south the rest of the day. And then on day 3, he reaches Cabris and enters the city, staying in a small inn overnight. On day 4, he finds a friend in the city guard and arranges for passage out of the city in a carriage dressed as a plague victim. The friend needs time to put this all together, so Zane waits for him. So that's where we got on episode 2 on Zane. Chet. We could come up with episode 2 storyline for Chet, but he's not going to come back until much later in the series, so I'm not super worried about it right now. Lauren's father, same deal. I don't really need to know what happens to her. It happens to him in episode 2. Lauren's mother, same deal. Corin, we need to know what happens in episode 2. Okay, so episode 2 on day 2, Corin and Burns set off south on horseback from the forest. They're riding hard, but since Lauren and Zane are on foot, they figured they can rest overnight. The beginning of day 3 is when they catch up to Lauren on the road. Lauren hides in the woods. Corin and Byrne almost pass her by, but they hear a skirmish with the bear. Unsure if it's her, they nevertheless chase into the woods after her. They cross the ridge, where Byrne fires an arrow at Lauren to bring her down. This angers Corin, who thinks the girl is innocent and being led astray. They chase Lauren into the caravan, but after failing to find her, assume that she must be heading south on the alternate road. They ride hard for the south. Midway through day 4, they reach Cabris. There they ask a local constable about Zane and Lauren early on day 4. They reach Cabris. There they ask a local constable about Zane and Lauren, detailing their encounter with Damaris's caravan. The local constable asks them about hidden panels, and Corin and Byrne know nothing about this because they're like country bumpkin constables. So the local constable heads north to Damaris, while Corin and Byrne remain to guard both roads against Zane's passage south. Okay, good. So that is episode 2 for Corin and for Byrne, since they are following pretty much identical storylines at this point. Okay, episode 2 for Damaris. Damaris is traveling south on an alternate road to Cabris. Late in the day on day 2, Zane arrives at the caravan. He has money for a horse, and Damaris is a merchant after all. She sells the horse to Zane, who rides away south. On day 3, Corin and Byrne arrive. Damaris assures them that the wizard and the girl are not there. They leave. After, it turns out Lauren is indeed in the caravan. Damaris grows distrustful when she realizes Lauren knows about her hidden panels and the dark purple crystals, but relaxes when Lauren tacitly agrees not to reveal them. That's when Damaris comes up with an idea. She'll bring Lauren south as insurance. If anyone looks like they might investigate the caravan, Damaris can turn Lauren over to the law to buy her way out of it. Then on day 4, Damaris decides to give Lauren a horse riding lesson, because while she plans to betray the girl, she holds no real malice against her. It's just business after all. She's ever so slightly worried about Anis's obvious affection toward Lauren, but not overly so. After all, Lauren will not be a problem for long. That's when the new constable shows up. Plans change quickly, and Damaris pretends to reveal Lauren's location as a ruse to kill the constables. Okay, so that's Damaris. Okay, so Anis's story really starts on day 3. I mean, she's there on day 2, but it doesn't matter. So Anis's story starts on day 3 when Lauren shows up. Anis is immediately infatuated with this obviously unrefined but self-sufficient and older girl. Anis can't imagine traveling alone at only 15, since her mother seems to make it clear that Anis won't be doing anything of that sort until she's in her 20s. That being said, Anis is a flighty girl and quickly grows bored of Lauren until Lauren calls her a child, which gets Anis angry, but she then later apologizes for calling Lauren a savage. That night, Anis begins to have a plan. She knows Lauren plans to become a great adventurer. Anis, too, is stifled by her parents, who are not only ruthless and capable of cruelty to others, but also don't want Anis to do anything but be a wealthy merchant. Anis forms a plan. On day 4, Anis goes to Lauren and begs Lauren to take Anis with her. Anis brings a coin purse she lifted from a chest when no one was looking, but Lauren refuses, angering Anis again. That's when the constables show up. Lauren hides, but Annis can see that look on her mom's face and knows something bad is about to happen. So that's her in episode 2. So then what's going to happen in episode 3 is basically that Annis is going to be captured. Let's see. Let's go back to the episode paragraphs. Okay, so that's an easy fix. Basically, when they got captured at the end of episode 3, Lauren slaps the horse's rear and it runs off into the city, and the constables don't really care because they've got Lauren. So that leaves Annis free to meet up with them later. So at the end of episode 4, then, when she joins back up with Zane, and Jem is with her at this point, shoot, hold on, I need to grab something from my other room. Okay, so I've got it. So at the end of episode 4, when Lauren sees Zane, um, she will see Zane on the street entering the back door of the inn that he's staying at, not riding off in a carriage. That way she can enter the inn with him and take Jem with her, and they can. That gives them the opportunity to grab Annis before they blow town. So episode 5 is just going to change very significantly. Okay, so I feel like this is a bit of a bloated episode, but episode 5, Zane is pissed that Lauren showed up. Lauren is pissed that Zane left her. He points out that she's in danger with him, and she points out she's in danger anyway, fucker. He feels a little bit bad. She finds out he's leaving the city in a carriage and makes him promise to take her, or she'll expose him. He grudgingly agrees, but only if she agrees she'll leave him at the next city. She does. Now she has to find Annis, but how can she do that? Jem is wanted by Auntie. Zane is wanted by constables. and Lauren is wanted by both of them. Zane tells her he planned to escape by pretending to have plague, and Lauren gets an idea. She goes out into the city as a plague victim. She even sees some of Auntie's crew, but they avoid her because she's plagued. Clock is ticking. They're leaving that night. But while she's out, a mystic stops to talk to her and try to tend her sickness. Just for anybody who missed it before, the mystics are an order of knights slash just an order of people who some of them are knights. They have a lot of wizards. They recruit a disproportionately high number of wizards, leading some people to believe that all mystics are wizards, but in fact they're not. But they don't argue the point either because it lends to their mystique and their power. And they're very involved with a lot of doings of the realm, but they're not in charge. They don't. There are no kings. They just are. They're sort of like, I mean, organizationally, they're a bit like Jedi, where they're there. Sometimes they advise, sometimes they require certain things or do certain things, but they're not actively involved in politics. Um, Lauren is bewildered because she has no idea what a mystic is, and then he discovers that she's not really sick. But he sees her bruises and injuries and decides not to tattle. It's not really his business anyway. He has more important things to do. Lauren, grateful, asks him if he has any ideas on finding Annis. The mystic says that if he were Annis, he'd hide in the slums pretending to be a beggar. Lauren goes, and sure enough, finds Annis there draped in rags because her dress stood out. Lauren is surprised at Annis's resourcefulness and takes her back to the inn, only to find it surrounded by constables and Auntie's peeps, who spotted Jem. There's a quick confrontation, which is avoided by Zane escaping through an underground passage, which is the whole reason he stayed at the inn in the first place. I was tempted to end episode 5 on the cliffhanger of they're surrounded and there's going to be a fight. I just don't like ending every single episode with they're in danger and then like within the first scene the danger is resolved. Like in episode 2 ends with like she's in danger. And episode 3 ends with the danger being resolved, but only by the appearance of an entirely new danger. Like in the beginning of episode 3, Damaris is going to kill all of the constables, which is like, now Lauren is no longer threatened by being captured, but she's in the care of a ruthless psychopathic bitch. So that is the new danger. Damaris is the danger that she has to overcome in the rest of the episode, and in episode 4 and 5 as well. So that's a pretty good episode 5. I like that. We're getting longer character arcs, more character establishment, etc., etc. So this is good. So now we're on to episode 6, and we've only got 3 episodes left to basically get out of the season. So now we need to start a ramp up. And episode 6, Lauren's dagger must be stolen. That needs to happen. And episode 7 is going and it needs to happen relatively early in episode 6. And then episode 7 is going to be her resolution to steal the dagger back. And episode 8 is going to be her achieving and accomplishing that goal. You know what? I think the rest of the season needs to take place in Cabris, except I don't see how it possibly could. Welcome to the part of VlogaNovel and the entire writing process where you sit there wondering what the hell you're doing. Well, we could have a false escape. I like that. Yes. Okay, so this is it. Okay, we've only got 7 minutes left. Okay, so that'll do for episode 6 for now, I think. So it's a false escape. In the city's sewers, Auntie strikes. Zane throws fire and lightning and shit, but there are far too many foes to beat, so they have to run. And Zane doesn't want to be murdering no children anyhow. Auntie gets her fingers in Lauren, who Auntie doesn't like, and Lauren escapes, but Auntie takes her dagger in the process. They make it to the portion of the city where Zane's friend lives. The carriage is there and ready to go. Lauren must choose to leave the city and her dagger or stay and face almost certain capture. She whiffle waffles a lot, but she's still sorry-eyed and naive, so she stays. Zane, despite himself, wants her to come. He calls her an idiot, etc., but she won't listen. He harumphs and says that they'll ride south for a day, then pull off to the side of the road and wait. She has 2 days to find them. Past that, Zane will roll straight the fuck on. Jem stays with Lauren, and Annis wants to, but Lauren makes Annis go. If they're caught, Annis is the one with the most to lose. Her mom's a psycho. Zane and Annis roll out. Zane's friend lets them stay in his cellar until it's time for them to go. The next day, they try to stake out Auntie. Lauren does the plague victim thing again, and it's just as successful. Jem shows her Auntie's secret place where she keeps her special trophies. It's in the sewers with only one way in and guarded by 2 of Auntie's bigger boys, who she's probably hate-banging on a regular basis. Lauren tries some bullshit distraction technique to get the guards away, but it fails and she's almost caught. She barely escapes with her life. So that's episode 6. We've got 2 more episodes to make the dagger thing happen. And that's the end of the hour, so we're gonna have to bail for here. In the next hour, I want to finish outlining the season and the episode 3 in preparation for the first draft, but that's gonna have to wait. I have to go do a film shoot right now. So I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you for watching VlogaNovel. That's going to be the end of this episode. As I mentioned at the top of the show, you can pre-order this book in the blue section of the screen below my face. It's GarrettBRobinson.com/NB-3. That is a direct pre-order from me, and while it still only costs you 99 cents, I get a much greater portion of the sale, so good thing. And if you haven't started reading this series yet, it is highly recommended by at least 5 people who have all left it high reviews on Amazon. So you should go do that. It's at GarrettBRobinson.com/NB-1. Again, that link is in the blue portion of the screen right below my face. If you read episode 1 and you review it, there's a link in the back of episode 1. You can get episode 2 for free. All you need to do is leave that review on Amazon, and then there's a form on my website. Again, the link is in the back of the book, and if you fill out that form, I send you episode 2 for free. You can't beat that with a stick. The first 2 episodes totally free with your review of episode 1. Thanks so much for watching it. Can't wait to see you for the next episode. Can't wait to see this episode take place. The whole season is getting better and better, in my opinion anyway. I'm enjoying it more and more with every episode of VlogaNovel. So thank you for being here and watching and contributing to that, because I'm liking this idea more and more. The more that it happens. So thank you. And if you have thoughts, comments, suggestions, whatever, even if you're not watching live, leave them in the comments of this video. I will do my best to incorporate and take everything into consideration, and so on and so forth. And I'll see you all next time later today. Bye.